And welcome. For the first time ever here on Nantucket, we bring you live televised soccer to the island right here on NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection. I am Charles Douglas, the station manager at NCTV, filled in for the voice of the Whalers, Chris Morris. He'll be out here at our next match, but right now it's just me and some awesome student camera operators. We got Adriana Graham on camera numero uno, Weston Scott and camera numero dos, and we're going to be bringing you live Whalers Girls Soccer in just a few minutes as they welcome the visiting Lions from St. John Paul Dos over there across the Sound. Want to thank head coach Lawrence Palmer and assistant coaches Caitlin McPherson, Kevin Enright, and Dylan Palmer for making the trip over with their squad. Of course, we've got Coach Doug Lebrecht here with Nantucket squad, along with assistant coaches Mary Ard and Boris Nikolov. Want to thank everybody on both teams for making this match happen today. And I especially want to thank everyone on our Snap Raise program for making our efforts to add girls soccer to the lineup on the NSC happen. We're going to give you a lineups coming up along with a preview of what these two teams are facing. But first, we only have this wonderful gear and this wonderful live view system that enables us to do bonded wireless transmission. There's no internet to speak of and barely a cell phone signal out here at Novadear Fields. But we're still able to make this happen thanks to some technological wizardry. And first and foremost, we got to thank for making that possible the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation. They have made the students of Nantucket a priority in their philanthropic efforts, and they continue to do so by supporting the NSC. So, hey, give them a shout-out next time you see them. Let them know how much you appreciate the Nantucket Sports Connection, proud supporters of Whalers Athletics.
The Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank its founding sponsor, the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, whose mission is to promote the positive development and enrichment of Nantucket's children. For more information on the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, go to nantucketgolfclub.com. Underwriting support for the NSC is brought to you in part by Myrick, the largest full-service law firm in Central Mass, also serving the Cape and Islands. Visit MyrickLaw.com to learn how Myrick can assist you with your legal needs.
Support for the NSC provided in part by Highline Cruises, providing year-round high-speed service to Nantucket since 1996. For more info, visit HighlineCruises.com.
NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank our Nantucket business sponsors for their support of today's Whalers broadcast.
Nantucket Sports Connection and NCTV over the past few years have done countless broadcasts that are both exciting and professional.
Shot, score! Jack Howard!
I support NCTV's Nantucket Sports Connection because it's a great opportunity to reach island families, support students, and our local television station.
And welcome back to our first ever preview show, our pregame show here on the Nantucket Sports Connection, and NCTV. That's right, live girls soccer. We've been hearing it for years, folks, at the NSC. Hey, why don't you have soccer? Well, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. It's thanks to those sponsors we're able to do anything. So be sure to thank those underwriters, Myrick Law, Highline Cruises, Chicken Box, Community Foundation in Nantucket, celebrating their 20th anniversary and all the great work they do, and more I'll mention throughout the broadcast. So again, we're bringing you for the first time ever our Whalers Girls Soccer team. They are 1-3-1 on the season. Had a tough loss, as you might have seen. A volunteer filmed their first game that we've ever broadcast for girls soccer here on the NSC. So we're coming to you live this time around. Visiting them, the St. John Paul II Lions, 2-2-1 on the season, but it's still a young year, and both these teams are on the hunt for that playoff spot in the Lighthouse Division of the Cape and Island League. The Whalers are coming off a winning season in 2024. They're finishing 10-5-3, and they qualified for the Division 4 tournament, where they fell 4-2 against Lunenburg on the road in that opening round of 32. And, of course, a lot of teams are being kicked up a division this year, and we're seeing the effects of that as we go through the fall season. Now, they are facing a Lions squad that finished 16-4-1 with a number 6 seed in their Division 5, though they also lost in the opening round, got shut out 1-0 by Tahanto. So we've got some experienced folks coming in on this Lions team. They're led by 3 senior co-captains, number 23, Emma Collette, number 18, Devin Crawford, and number 19, Reagan Dillon, along with number 4, Michaela Enright. So that's a strong senior squad that these Whalers are going to be facing, a much younger Whalers squad. I'm counting less than a half dozen seniors, although one of them, of course, is co-captain Chelsea Gross. She is joined in the co-captaincy by a sophomore, Harper Lebrecht, who will be playing midfield. Chelsea Gross will be playing forward. Again, we're kind of doing this as a pilot project today, picking up Whalers Girls Soccer. We're only able to do that thanks to what support we see this month on our Snap Raise campaign. The folks back at the station made this wonderful spot to, talk about the importance of Snap Raise and expanding our coverage and what it means to families and to these student athletes on this island. Take a listen.
Whenever NCTV covers one of our games, I think it's awesome.
We have been able to capture so much incredible athletic history. It feels like we've been a part of it as much as the kids have been.
A lot of people have prior obligations. Maybe they can't make the event. And they still get to watch it and, watch a great broadcast, see their kid playing.
It's nice for the parents, grandparents, and family that can't come or are not on the island to be able to see it, even if they, can't attend in person. So I think that meant a lot to them.
The technology that we need is, it's not cheap. There are certain costs that go into this to make this happen. My hope for the broadcast is to just build the crew numbers, get more students involved, maybe add a few more cameras here and there, but, ultimately, we're here to grow. The more hands on deck, the better this can be, and ultimately that just comes back to the Nantucket community.
We're excited to take on soccer because it's coming. We're there. We're ready for it.
And welcome back to Nobody Field. We are 2 minutes out from the opening of this match as your Nantucket Whalers welcome the Lions from St. John Paul II. Want to thank Assistant Athletic Director Matt for paying us a visit, and Travis, our Athletic Director, Mr. Lombardi, thanks for tuning in. Thank all of you for tuning in. Again, we're live on Nantucket TV HD Channel 1072. As well as here on YouTube. Hey, give us a subscribe if you get the chance. That's ACT Sports Connection on YouTube and ACT Sports Connection on Instagram while you're at it. We'll try to get some highlights out of this game, depending how it goes, of course. Team captains are over here right in front of my station, giving a handshake and getting the rundown from the. Well, I'd usually call them the Stripes, but they're the Yellers today, the referees. Chatting with one of them just before this game, and he was the same ref who was at our season opener for the Nantucket Sports Connection. He also serves as a referee for girls volleyball, and of course we'll be bringing you the next live home girls volleyball match. That'll be I think coming up next Monday, if memory serves, right here on the NSC and NCTV. Chris Morris will be back with you on that. He'll also be back with you, of course, this Saturday. We do have a scheduling update. The kickoff has changed. We were going to be live at noon, and now I believe we're going to be live at 1:30 for that 2 o'clock kickoff. The Blackstone Valley Beavers, for the very first time, are visiting Nantucket to take on our 2-0 Whalers football team. That's right, 2-0 Whalers football. Haven't been able to say that since 2017. So we got a real exciting season building momentum over there at Vito Capizzo Stadium. So Chris Morris and the gang will be bringing you that game live this coming Saturday. But we got a hell of a game right here. I see Mr. Frank Schatt in the house. Mr. Frank Schatt coming over to rescue our camera operators with a very important piece of plastic. So he's hooking up Adriana on camera 1. We're live on camera 2 right now. Again, Weston Scott. By the way, these NHS seniors, they're on camera right now, but you can be on camera if you want to be. More camera operators we have, the more games we can cover. Funny how that works. So if you want to get trained up by the best, Sean Davis, who's getting married this weekend, by the way. Congratulations to Sean and Haley on their forthcoming nuptials this Saturday. Sean Davis, the best damn videographer on the island, shoots for the golf club, shoots for weddings and all sorts of corporate events and clients and all those good folks who've got the bucks. But we're lucky to have him as our lead videographer for the Nantucket Sports Connection at NCTV. He's going to be teaching Intro to Sports Camera next Wednesday, September 24th. That's going to be live at 3:30 right here on at NCTV. Check us out next to Sophie T's Pizza. I see Frank wants to talk to me, so I'm going to let you look at these players take the field, and I'll be right back with you. Back with you here on NCTV and the NSC. Thank you, Frank Schatt, for delivering some camera cards. I was too busy packing all the other stuff for today, and you forget the little things. The little things like recording the footage for the game. Kind of important. So thank you to Frank Schatt for that, doing his damnedest to keep all the gear spinning at NCTV. And we are underway here from Nobody Farms Field. In case you didn't know, they don't play quarters here for high school girls soccer. They play halves. So we are in the first half. It's a 40-minute half. So get good and comfy, grab a snack. We're going to be here for a while, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you live girls soccer action for the very first time here on NCTV. It's a good feeling to be out here. The great outdoors. I'll share some pictures on Instagram afterwards. When I say great outdoors, we are literally hanging out on a stool behind a fence here, naked to the elements. But thankfully, the rains have subsided, and it's a beautiful day out here at Nobodier Farms Field. Okay, that's better. Charles Douglas, station manager at NCTV, bringing you live Whalers girls soccer action as the ball comes careening towards our position over here midfield. We had a small scoreboard issue. Our scoreboard company that we're currently using is based in Italy, and I guess they do what they call football. We call soccer a little differently over there. When I started the clock, it started counting up from 40 minutes, which is not what we're doing over here. We are counting down from 40 minutes, and that's a good thing. Lions try to clear, but Nantucket regains possession. Just over 5 minutes into this first half. Disregard the Q1 in the corner of your screen for the scoreboard here. We play 2 40-minute halves as we finally have operational on our scoreboard. Hey, we're learning, folks, along with everyone else. First ever televised live soccer game here from Nantucket. as the Lions put it over there on the Whaler side of the field, but out of bounds it goes. Your Lions dressed in white going from left to right, and Whalers in Whaler blue coming from right to left. Goalies wearing varieties of turquoise, and the refs are in yellow. And it's number 28, Emma Woodbury, the junior, driving it forward onto the line side of the field. Passes it over to number 9, Maya Johnson. Number 12, Emery Bouchard, the senior, has it now. Passes it over to Dylan Damien, in a crowd of Lions. And out of bounds, out of the back line. It's number 7, Elizabeth Collette, the sophomore, who is the goalkeeper for the visiting SJP Lions. But taking the corner kick at this time is the Whalers' number 7, co-captain Harper Lebrecht, just a sophomore. Adriana Graham there, NHS senior, giving you that shot. Out of bounds right in front of our position. And it's Whaler ball on the line side of the field. Another ball coming flying over the fence, thankfully well clear of our position. Well, I'm starting to get nervous about my doors and windows here. That's right. Go out of bounds on the far side. The parents, they can handle the flying objects better than our equipment. Again, this is Station Manager Charles Douglas for Nantucket Sports Connection and NCTV, bringing you live Whalers soccer action. We're about 8 minutes into the first half. No score yet. Ball on the Whaler side of the field, but they are trying to clear it out. But it looks like Lions will be inbounding. That's number 17, Florence Carlson, just a sophomore, she was going to be tossing it in, but she gives it up to number 11, Adeline Lambert, who's actually an 8th grader. Corner kick now for the Lions. Number 23, co-captain Emma Collette is going to be bringing it in. And fields it out to a crowd of Lions midfield. Dangerous territory here for the Whalers. But they managed to recover. Nope, ref saw something differently than I did. Give me another corner kick for the visiting Lions. Goalkeeper ran out a goal to get that one, but thankfully there was a crowd of Whalers blocking the path. And no score yet. 10 minutes into the first half. And Whalers goalkeeper going to clear it out here. That's Madden Myers, co-captain of the Whalers, junior, who's in goal. Lions coach happy with his ladies' play there, but Whalers do have the ball in Lions territory. Number 12, Emily Bouchard, loses it to number 16 of the Lions, who clears it past midfield. That's co-captain Reagan Dillon for the Lions, number 19, who almost had it stripped away by Emery Bouchard. And kicked well out of bounds, and Whalers will clear. Again, Madden Myers there in turquoise. The junior co-captain for the Whalers. Lions head coach Lawrence Palmer telling his players to get better touches going there. But Lions do have the ball. They cleared it over to the Whaler side of the field. And headed right back are your Whalers driving downfield. Here's number 12, Bouchard, out of bounds. But Whalers will inbound. Lions with some good dribble work, retain the ball, but are unable to control. Grace Schroeder, the sophomore for the Whalers, strips away right at half field. Coach LeBrecht for the Whalers telling his players they cannot lose the ball that easily. Definitely haven't got anything going on the offensive side so far. No shots on goal, no score yet. About 14 minutes into the first half out here at No-Bitter Fields. For the first time, live Whalers soccer action right here on NCTV and the NSC. Lions have it deep in their own end. Whistle, but clock is still rolling. No timeouts expended so far by either team. And it's Lions ball. And they will advance across the timeline. Again, we've got a pair of Whalers students, Whalers seniors, who are on camera today. Weston Scott to my right and Adriana Graham to my left. So Adriana on the Whalers offensive side, Lions defense, and Weston Scott the contrary. He'll be on our right side. You're a Whaler goalie on the Lions offensive end. Grace Schroeder inbounding for the Whalers. Ball ruled dead by the Yellows by the refs. And looks like it's going to be Lions ball. Number 9 for the Lions fighting for it. That's Kira O'Malley, a sophomore. Whistle dead again. Foul white is the call on that one. Well, at least that's what somebody said, but White's kicking the ball in. Careful, you can't trust everything you hear. That's co-captain Emma Collette, the senior, inbounding for the Lions. Well downfield, but well in control of Whalers goalkeeper Madden Myers. Co-captain, the junior, will be kicking it well downfield, and Whalers retain possession. See if the Whalers can get something going here. Here's number 12, Emery Bouchard, getting it forward. Right in front of our camera operator, Adriana Graham. Number 23, struggling for it. Hey, Coach, who's 23? That's Chelsea Gross, wearing number 23, the co-captain for the Whalers. Typically wearing the number 2 badge, but I'm going to switch it up today just to keep us on our toes. Whalers still have possession on the offensive side of the field. And ball coming almost straight my way, but thankfully took a helpful bounce out into the boonies. And Chelsea Gross fighting for it right in front of our camera on the sideline, and she tosses it back in.
Get away from her! Get away from it! You have to win it! Over, all the way!
Lions manage to steal away possession and are on the Whaler side of the field. Number 15, Abigail Farmer, 7th grader. Gets it over to Kira O'Malley, sophomore. But Whalers managed to get it back on the out-of-bounds call. That's number 12, Emery Bouchard, the senior. And Whalers clear it well up to the Lions side of the field. However, I don't see any blue jerseys down there. And Lions goalkeeper gets a nice boot on it. Still no score nearly halfway through the first half here from Novadear Fields. Bouchard inbounding. To Gross. Chelsea Gross with the ball. Gets it off across in front of the goal, and coming up with it is number 1. Oh, Grace Schroeder, but she has it stripped away by the Lions. Number 19, co-captain Reagan Dillon now bringing it on to the offensive end for St. John Paul. But off it goes out of bounds. Looks like a big corner kick opportunity for the Lions. Emma Collette there at the flag is going to put her boot on it. Weston Scott bringing you that shot from the Whalers defensive end. And inbound it goes in front of the Whaler goal. Lions can't quite come up with it. Stuck back in that corner and out back out of bounds. See what the ref's call is. And it's ruled Whaler ball, so Mad Myers going to clear it out here. Again, you're watching Whaler Soccer here live for the first time on Nantucket on the NSC and NCTV. I'm Charles Douglas, your Nantucket Community Television station manager, filling in for Chris Morris, who I know is cooking up a storm this evening for his 8-arm chef services. He'll be back at you for our next Whaler soccer game, and he'll be back at you this Saturday for our next Whalers football game. Kickoff time has moved to later in the afternoon. We'll be live 1:30 p.m. from Vito Capizzo Stadium to bring you the Nantucket Whalers football squad taking on Blackstone Valley Beavers for the very first time. Whalers get it down to the other side of the field, but manage to get it out of bounds. Clock still running, 18 and a half minutes left in the first half. Still going to be Whalers ball, number 6, Gabby Nikolova, the senior. Boots it. Lions come up with it. And off it goes across the halfway mark. Running for it and knocked over is number 23, Emma Collette. Looks like she's all right, though. No yellow cards and no stoppage on the clock. A cloudy, misty day here at Nova Deer Farm Fields, but thankfully no rain. Not like the torrential downpour that we needed yesterday to get out of our stage 2 drought condition. Whalers inbounding it now. That was number 6, again, Gabby Nikolova, the senior midfielder. Whalers rejected, but or Lions rejected rather, but Whalers are there to get it back. That was Allison Escobar, the senior, who put it back on the offensive end. And it's Chelsea Gross again wearing the 23 jersey just today, fighting for it there. With number 12, a little help from Emery Bouchard, out of bounds. In the lighter blue windbreaker, the Lions color blue, sky blue there, there's head coach Lawrence Palmer visiting from the Lions. It's helpful enough to hand me a roster. I always appreciate that. And it is Lions ball, but Whalers head it right back out. But I imagine number 10, Mila Smith, the 8th grader, is going to toss it right back in, and so she does. And it's Lions ball. Well, at least until number 7, Harper Lebrecht got a hold of it. The sophomore, maybe some relation to our head coach, who knows? I'll have to find that out at the halftime. This is our first time ever covering soccer here on the NSC and NCTV, so we'll be learning together. Your esteemed host did play soccer about 65 million years ago in the previous geologic period, but it's been a while. And obviously I was playing the soccer for the other gender. Lions threatening now, bringing it down the field, but tripped up. There's a whistle. I imagine Lions are going to regain possession. Less than 15 minutes left in the first half, and looks like we got a shot on goal for the Lions due to the penalty. Big test early in this match for Madden Myers. And shot goes in. So big shot on goal for number 19, Reagan Dillon, the co-captain for the Lions, graduating senior this year. And that puts the visiting St. John Paul Lions up 1-0. First score of the game here at Nobodere Farms Field. There's a little replay there for you. That's right, instant replay in soccer. Can you believe it? If you believe it, it is no dream. So it looks like we got a clock stoppage here with 13:55 left in the first half. Again, 1-0 Lions here from Nobodere Fields. We'll take a quick break. Thanks to some of the folks making this broadcast possible. You're watching Whalers Soccer on the NSC and NCTV. We'll be right back.
The Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank its founding sponsor, the Nantucket Golf. The Nantucket The Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank its founding sponsor, the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, whose mission is to promote the positive development and enrichment of Nantucket's children. For more information on the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, go to nantucketgolfclub.com. Underwriting support for the NSC is brought to you in part by Myrick, the largest full-service law firm in Central Mass, also serving the Cape and Islands. Visit myricklaw.com to learn how Myrick can assist you with your legal needs.
Support for the NSC provided in part by Highline Cruises, providing year-round high-speed service to Nantucket since 1996. For more info, visit HighlineCruises.com.
NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank our Nantucket business sponsors for their support of today's Whalers broadcast.
And we're back. It's 1-0 here at Nobodere Farms Field. You're watching Whalers Girls Soccer on the NSC and NCTV. As we're back underway, Whalers ball, number 7 Harper Lebrecht at midfield. Ooh, Whalers took a bad tumble. Looked like a trip over there, but we'll see what the refs call that as. I think they're just going to call it as Whaler ball, inadvertent. Gabby Nikolova, number 6 now, gives it a nice boot on the offensive side of the field. Maya Johnson, the senior, comes up with it clean. Be Whalers ball coming out of the corner. As you can see here in camera 1, the Lions coach and assistant coach framed up. And Weston Scott bringing you all the shots here in camera 2. Whalers fielded nicely in front of the goal and then headed right up and over and out of bounds. That will be Lions ball, I do believe. Goalkeeper number 7, Elizabeth Collette, the sophomore for St. John Paul. I thought she was going to be booting it out there, but looks like it was handed over to number 18, co-captain Devin Crawford, the senior for the Lions. But Whalers do a good job putting on pressure deep on the opposite side of the field and takes a high bounce and goes out of bounds. Just under 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Lions still struggling to get it out of their side of the field. They do have a 1-0 lead. They are protecting. Adriana Graham getting you those close-in shots there, doing a great job. NHS senior on camera. Whalers take a shot, and it's a little slow bouncer. That's Lions goalie Elizabeth Collette has no problem collecting. Collette gives it a boot into a crowd of Whalers. There was one Lion there, and she manages to get it out of that crowd of blue. Again, Lions coming from left to right in white, and Whaler blue, obviously, your Nantucket Whalers coming from right to left. Got a small crowd here, beating the late summer cloudy blues, and joining us to see this game today. Thank you for joining us if you're online or if you're watching on NCTV HD Channel 1072. Number 14, Molly Bedell, the sophomore, gets it over to Maya Johnson, number 9, the senior. And Harper Lebrecht, sophomore co-captain. And she boots it downfield. And out of bounds. It'll be Lions ball. Number 11, Adeline Lambert, the 8th grader for St. John Paul, going to be fielding it in. I'd say her height might give her away. And doing some player rotations here. Number 22, Dylan Damian, taking a seat for the Whalers. Some physical play from Emma Woodbury there, and Lions player takes a tumble. And that'll be Lions ball, of course. Booting it in, co-captain Emma Collette, the senior for the Lions. Scrum of Whalers and Lions. Whalers save the possession, however, and get it downfield, but right into the Lions fullback. Chelsea Gross and Harper Lebrecht playing tag back there, getting onto the offensive side of the field, but Lions regain possession. Coming up on 9 minutes left here in the first half, 1-0 Lions. Lions are the team coming into this game with the winning record. Whalers looking for their second win this season. Both Lion and Whaler take a tumble there. Now is Ayla Diver, the freshman. And Abigail Farmer, the 7th grader, was threatening on goal, but that drive was turned away and ball out of bounds. However, Lions do retain possession. Allison Escobar, the senior for the Whalers, gets it out of the danger zone, but unfortunately Lions do recover. Racing for it now to the opposite side of the field. And Whalers come up with it and clear. Harper Lebrecht almost came up with it there, but no love. Bouchard trying to make something happen. Number 24 for the Lions trying to disrupt. That's Ariel Thompson, the sophomore. Coach Lebrecht near my position telling his players, put on more pressure. We're not enough blue jerseys down in front of the Lions goal there. The Whalers do recover. Emery Bouchard, who's had a lot of playtime this first half, but she loses it. Lions playing keep away. But Woodbury comes up with it. Emma Woodbury, the junior forward for the Whalers. And Lions clear downfield onto the offensive end. Lions take a shot, but it goes clear to the right. And Maddie Myers will come up with it. Whalers ball. Just under 6 minutes left here in the first half from Nobodere Fields. 1-0 Lions so far. Again, Adriana Graham and Weston Scott on camera, your NHS senior camera operators. I'm Charles Douglas, NCTV station manager, filling in for the more talented Chris Morris, who will be back with you for our next live Whalers Girls Soccer game. We'll fill you in on those details in the halftime show. Right now, number 12, Emery Bouchard, trying to clear it, but runs into a line. Thankfully, two Whalers are there. Struggling for it right in front of our camera position. And Lions come up with it at midfield. Less than 5 minutes to go here in the first half. It is Whalers ball. We saw a Lions player just kick it right out of bounds to nobody in particular. Number 23 back there. Again, that's Chelsea Gross impersonating number 23, usually number 2, co-captain, the senior forward for the Whalers. She manages to get it out the back end, however, so Lions come up with the possession. And it's co-captain number 18, Devin Crawford, the senior for the Lions, trying to clear it out. But Whalers determined not to let that happen. Number 18, Ruby Stedman, the freshman, fighting for it for your ladies in blue. And that's out of bounds on the far side of the field. Looks like Whalers ball. Whalers need some offensive production here. It's going to be a corner kick from the senior forward, Maya Johnson. Scrum of Whalers in front. Lions managed to clear out to midfield. Nope, back out of bounds. And it'll be number 9, Johnson, putting it in again for the Whalers. Coming up on 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left here in the first half. Lions trying to keep it out of the danger zone there. Whalers trying to bring it back in. And Reagan Della manages to get out of bounds. Whalers ball, number 18. Ruby Stedman gets it in. And Lions immediately try to clear. Number 14, Molly Bedell. Attempting to reverse that flow. Do you know why the clock stopped? Copy. Sorry, I just had to ask a player what was going on, because according to my clock, it's 30 seconds, and they're still playing, so I don't think the clock's officially stopped. The little things you learn along the way. Whalers threatened, but Lions managed to clear. Number 1, Grace Schroeder, attempting to get something going before the half elapses here. Whalers take a shot from pretty far distance, goes wide to the left. I think that might be our last shot on goal of the half here, unless something's happening I'm not aware of. Devin Crawford, 18, clearing it here. Okay, just getting the skinny from Coach Lebrecht here. Apparently that was a timeout, and we got approximately 20 seconds left in the half. Then I'm overhearing the coach for the Lions, Mr. Lawrence Palmer, saying there's about 1 minute left. So kind of a guessing game between me and Coach Lebrecht and Coach Palmer as far as what the clock actually is. I know it's 1-0 Lions, and I know it's almost the end of the first half. The rest of it, we're gonna try to find out for you here live for Whalers Girls Soccer for the first time. It's a learning opportunity for us all here on NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection. Again, I've got camera operators Adriana Graham and Weston Scott doing a great job. And if you want to join them out here on camera while we ponder the mysteries of the clock and chase the soccer ball down the field, well, we've got a class for you next Wednesday. That's Wednesday, September 24th, 3 p.m. at NCTV, right next to Sophie T's Pizza, or for the adults, right across the street from the chicken box. So adults, kids, whoever you are, if you're a kid, we'll give you free membership. But if you're an adult, you'll have to join NCTV, but that's worth doing anyway for all sorts of good reasons. So join us. Sean Davis, the best darn photographer, videographer, and soon to be newlywed on the island. Sean Davis will be teaching that class. He's our head videographer at NCTV. If you caught those field side shots at the Island Cup at Fenway Park, if you caught the, big games of hockey and basketball last winter, those are all Sean's shots. And Sean's going to be teaching this class, to share these skills with the community and get more people out here shooting Whalers athletics and, sharing the love of the game. So join us next Wednesday, 3 o'clock at NCTV. If you attend the whole class, there might be free pizza at the end. Not promising anything. We'll see what happens. So again, 3 o'clock next Wednesday at NCTV Intro to Sports Camera. Looks like you're about to get underway. Allegedly a minute, something like that going on. Lions clear. Whalers are there to stop it, though. And back right into the gloves of the Lions goalkeeper. Good job, Elizabeth Collette, number 7. Whaler takes a tumble, but are still fighting for it. Starting to get a little darker, a little mystery out here at Nobody Farms Field. It is 4:32 Eastern Daylight Time, regardless of what the clock is or isn't telling us out here. Allegedly 15 seconds left again. I've heard so many different times now, I don't know what to believe. It's the betting pool by the horse track at this point. All right, looks like another timeout here. At least I think it is. Okay, I've got the final determination. This is halftime. I didn't know if it was a halftime or a timeout. The clock just froze at 2 and didn't do anything. So we're all.
We haven't stopped the clock at 2 minutes, so everybody doesn't get all excited because we've got the official time.
Copy.
So we just haven't stopped at 2 minutes. The second half will stop at 5 minutes.
Copy that.
If anybody wants to know, they're going to ask whoever's going to do it. That's the official time.
All right, so I'll hunt you down. What's your name, sir? He's on this side. All right. What's your name, sir? Greg. Okay. So, Coach or referee Greg, Ref Greg, is going to fill us in with a little more information in the second half, as far as keeping track of our clock. So we'll bug him while we take a little break here. But anyway, we are at the end of the first half. It is 1-0 Lions. We've got another 40 minutes of soccer action coming your way. But first, let's thank some folks making all of our lives here possible on the NSC and NCTV. I'm Charles Douglas bringing you second half action live. Whaler Girls Soccer from Nobody Farms Field.
The Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank its founding sponsor, the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, whose mission is to promote the positive development and enrichment of Nantucket's children. For more information on the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation, go to nantucketgolfclub.com. Underwriting support for the NSC is brought to you in part by Myrick, the largest full-service law firm in Central Mass, also serving the Cape and Islands. Visit MyrickLaw.com to learn how Myrick can assist you with your legal needs.
Support for the NSC provided in part by Highline Cruises, providing year-round high-speed service to Nantucket since 1996. For more info, visit HighlineCruises.com.
NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection would like to thank our Nantucket business sponsors for their support of today's Whalers broadcast.
First hoop,
Simpson gathers for Nantucket. Francis over to Aguilar. He'll launch for three. Got it! Huge shot from Cup.
Nantucket Ice is about community, camaraderie, confidence, jumping in, and being part of a team. Falling, but getting back up.
And way up in the cross. Quick shot.
It's about being part of the culture, friendships, experience. But ultimately, it's about being on the ice. Located in the heart of the island, it's about being a future for our youth, our families, our community. Come join us. Be a part of our community.
Ideas are these teeny tiny seeds that are planted in the subconscious of our minds. They come from everywhere, right? They come from books and songs and dreams, conversation. Maybe some seeds have been with you since you were a child and they've been waiting to be watered, right? To be grown to the light. And over the 15 years that I've worked in the television and motion picture industry, one mantra has stayed with me since the beginning. And that is that to photograph means to print light, right? And it's a process to print light. Filmmaking is a process. So let's just talk about that for like a minute.
And welcome back. You're watching live Whalers Girls Soccer for the very first time. We can say it's live from Nobodere Fields. I got like 2-3 bars out here, folks. It's a miracle of modern technology. We're able to go live in HD, 1080, shining HD, right here on NCTV and the Nantucket Sports Connection. That's that Nantucket Shorts Festival. We just heard about that from our Director of Programming, Steph Sarah. That is coming up on Saturday, October 11th. That's going to be Columbus Day weekend, Indigenous Peoples Day weekend, whichever way you want to call it. It's up to you. But we got a 3-day weekend. That's the important part, right, folks? And on Saturday of that weekend, it used to be on Sundays, but now it's going to be on Saturday, October 11th, at the Dreamland. Tickets are on sale now, and there's going to be all local films. In fact, 100% local Nantucket filmmakers and Nantucket shot and produced films right there coming to you live, including at least one film, so I've heard, by a current Nantucket High School student who's going to have her very first short film premiered, screened to the world at the Dreamland. So definitely check that out. Head on over to the Dreamland's website and log in there and buy your tickets now. It always sells out, always a sellout event hosted by John Shea, the Nantucket Shorts Festival, running for over a decade here on Nantucket. So, again, we're bringing you Nantucket Whalers Girls Soccer live for the very first time on the NSC and NCTV, and we're only able to do that if we can make this Snap Raise fundraiser happen. So, check it out. We filmed a little spot to explain what we're up to and what we're trying to do to expand Whalers coverage to more sports and highlight more of our awesome student athletes right here on Nantucket. Take a listen.
Whenever NCTV covers one of our games, I think it's awesome.
We have been able to capture so much incredible athletic history. It feels like we've been a part of it as much as the kids have been.
a lot of people have prior obligations. Maybe they can't make the event, and they still get to watch it and watch a great broadcast, see their kid playing.
It's nice for the parents, grandparents, and family that can't come or are not on the island to be able to see it, even if they can't attend in person. So I think that meant a lot to them.
The technology that we need is it's not cheap. There are certain costs that go into this to make this happen. My hope for the broadcast is to just build the crew numbers, get more students involved, maybe add a few more cameras here and there, but, ultimately, we're here to grow. The more hands on deck, the better this can be, and ultimately that just comes back to the Nantucket community.
We're excited to take on soccer because it's coming. We're there. We're ready for it.
And we're coming back into second half action right here from Nobodere Farms Field. It is your Nantucket Whalers down 1-0 against the St. John Paul Lions. Let's see if they can come back here in the second half. Still no score here in the second half. Lions managed to get one in on a penalty kick in the first half, which leads us to our 1-0 score here. That's number 9, Maya Johnson, right in front of our camera operator, number 2, Weston Scott over there. Our teams have flipped the field, of course. Your Whalers in Whaler blue are now going from left to right, with the Lions in white going from right to left. That's Maya Johnson, the senior forward, on the corner kick here now. And right into the hands of the goalkeeper, number 7, Elizabeth Collette, sophomore. Sure-handed so far today. She tries to boot it, but it goes a little sideways towards our side of the field. Hi there. And it's still going to be Whaler ball. Number 1, Grace Schroeder, the sophomore defense woman. Gets it in number 11, who struggles to field it. That was Sutton Lebrecht. Johnson again on the field, but manages to put it behind the goal, and that's going to be Lions ball. Co-captain Devin Crawford, number 18, the senior here, is going to be giving it a boot in. Lions managed to repel, however, and Whalers come up with it. Deep on the Lions' end of the field. Ooh. Johnson, number 9 there. Manages to kick a field goal. Nice little replay of that. Ooh, that could have been 6 feet lower. That would have been a tie ball game right there. That's right. Instant replays in soccer right here in the NSC and NCTV. How you like that? Whalers out here on the corner kick. And it's co-captain Harper Lebrecht, the sophomore, booting it in. And Sutton Lebrecht saves it. And right into line possession, unfortunately. Whalers do struggle back, however. And shot on goal, but a bit on the slower side, easily fielded by the goalie, Liz Collette. She gives it a punt, not a short one. And into Whaler possession. There's Johnson with it. Grace Schroeder, however, manages to knock it out. Adeline Lambert, the 8th grader, right in front of our camera 2 over here, is going to be fielding it in. Chelsea Gross got it over to Sutton Lebrecht, but ball goes wide to the left of the goal. Looks like Whalers are going to retain possession, however. Nantucket mom on the far side saying this is the one. She can feel it. Can you feel it out there, Whaler Nation? Here we go. Fielded into the middle of the scrum. Lions knock it off to the far side. And that should be Whaler ball. It is. Sutton Lebrecht getting it back in bounds. Chelsea Gross fighting off a crowd. Gets it into midfield. Oh, Johnson almost had it to connect for a shot on goal, but Lions managed to strip it away. Gross there to disrupt the inbound tap from the Lions. But Reagan's still fighting for it downfield. Number 19. St. John Paul coach Palmer advising his players to stop losing the race to every single ball. So Whalers definitely showing some hustle, but they need to show some points on the board. Still no score for the Whalers, one for the Lions off of a penalty kick as we approach a half hour left in the second half and in regulation. Though in soccer, I'm pretty sure they just score ties to that in overtime. So that's pretty much a half hour left in the game. And a bouncing shot, but easily caught by Collette. Or rather, yeah, caught by Elizabeth Collette. Florence Carlson, number sophomore. I think that's one of her first touches of the game of the visiting St. John Paul Lions. Little substitution here. Number 28, Ella Corcoran, the freshman, coming in for the Lions. Taking a seat is number 11, Adeline Lambert, the 8th grader. Under 30 minutes remaining out here at Nobodere Fields, 1-0 Lions. You're watching Nantucket Whalers Girls Soccer here on NCTV and the NSC. This is Charles Douglas, NCTV station manager, filling in for Chris Morris, who will be coming to you for our next few games as he comes off of his busy summer catering season and onto the airwaves for Whaler Nation. Lions kicking it in from the corner. Whalers managed to disrupt, get it out to midfield. Lions with a nice deflection there. But Grace Schroeder, number 1, there to recover. Maya Johnson now fighting off 2 Lions. And they struggle over to the sidelines, and Lions push that one out. Whaler ball, as you can see right in front of our camera operator, number 1, Adriana Graham over here. Maya Johnson gets it over to Lebrecht, Sutton Lebrecht, the senior that is. And her shot is well wide, if you can count it as a shot. Either way, the goalie for the Lions came out and grabbed it. She gives it a hefty boot out to midfield. Looks like that one was deflected off of co-captain Chelsea Gross and went out of bounds. It's either a Whaler student or a member of the press is going to get that in there. Unless my eyes mistake me, I think that's Mr. David Creed from the Kern over there taking some shots. Number 19 wins the race for the Lions over a couple of Whalers there. That's co-captain Reagan Dillon, the graduating senior for St. John Paul. It'll be Lions ball at the timeline, and we do have a timeout. We have a timeout assessed to the Lions with just under 27 minutes left in this game. So we'll take a quick break as well. You're watching Nantucket Whalers Soccer for the first time. That's right, girls soccer here from Belvedere Field right here on the NSC and NCTV. Damn glad to have you. This is Charles Douglas with Adrian Graham and Weston Scott, NHS students on camera. We'll be right back with more action right after this.
In 1965, a group of dedicated Nantucket parents came together with one goal: to raise enough money to develop game film for the football team. The following season, the Whalers went undefeated. These parents became the very first class of the Nantucket Booster Club. Over time, Whaler pride has grown into something far more than just wins and losses on the scoreboard.
Once a Whaler, always a Whaler. 1, 2, 3, Whalers!
Una vez un Whaler, siempre un Whaler. Vamos!
What binds us is Whaler pride. It has shaped our island and student athletes for generations.
Whaler pride isn't just a tradition, it's an identity, a legacy for families who choose to plant their roots here in this community all year round. It can bring generations of island families together, and for Wash Ashore children, it can transform an unfamiliar place into a new home. The Nantucket Booster Club is a vital link between our community and Whalers athletics. It helps provide our teams with gear, additional travel expenses, and much more.
Volunteering for the Booster Club, it's a blast. From the homecoming to the pig roast, and most importantly, Hank, our school mascot. We're here to create a fun and welcoming atmosphere. More than money, we need members. And part of this club, you are a member, not just a volunteer. We need to build our community bigger and better to help our student athletes prepare for the next chapter in their life.
Support our kids and Whaler pride by volunteering for the Booster Club. To learn more, please email the address on the screen.
And we're back here at Belvedere Fields and on NCTV HD Channel 1072 and NHS Sports Connection on YouTube and all the socials. It's 1-0 Lions over Whalers here in the second half. About 26-20 left. Although, as the refs were explaining, you'll never know for sure until the final whistle. Whaler player out there exclaiming, "Why are we running away from the ball, guys?" That's number 1, Grace Schroeder, the sophomore defense lady, fielding it in to number 7, Harper Lebrecht, the co-captain. Lions managed to steal it away there, right in front of our camera too. But Whalers managed to come up with it. Grace getting it in again. And Lions managing to boot it right back out. Just keep it away from me, folks. That's all I ask. I've taken more soccer balls to the head than I can count. I can take them, but the equipment, not so much. Shot on goal goes wide to the left. And Liz Collette there to dig it out of the bushes. Co-captain Devin Crawford, senior defense player, gonna boot it out of the goal box. Whaler there to stop that kick. Sutton Lebrecht, the senior forward, gets it over to Chelsea Gross, the co-captain. Oh, look at that shot. We got a tie ball game, folks. We got a tie ball game out here at Novadear Farms Field from point blank range. Number 9, Maya Johnson. She missed her last shot just over the top bar, but not that time. Let's take a look at the replay on that one, folks. Boom. Point blank range from Maya Johnson. That's fired up this crowd out here at Novadear Farm Field. We got a tie ball game here. At least as soon as I can make my scoreboard operate correctly. Growing pains out here on the Nantucket Sports Connection. Thank you for sticking with us. Just trust me, it's a tie ball game. Hey, now the scoreboard works. How about that? Another drive by the Whalers, but Collette was having none of it, and dives on the ball. Coming up on just under 23 minutes left in the second half. Looks like Chelsea Gross over there fighting for midfield. Ooh, Lions got a breakaway here, 2-on-2. And knock it into the side of the net, so no goal. Maddie Myers, the junior goalkeeper for the Whalers, gets it out of the danger zone, but Lions determined to knock it back in. Myers with it again. Gives it a bigger kick that time. Way out to the midfield line. And Whalers driving once again. Got a bit of momentum. Only scored the second half. And it's going to be Whaler ball. Chelsea Gross, the senior forward. Less than 20 minutes to go. Less than 20 minutes to go now. Ball comes careening pretty close to Weston Scott over there in a camera 2 position. And it'll be Nantucket ball. Fielding it in Grace Schroeder, number 1. Sutton Lebrecht gets into a scuffle and manages to kick it out the back end. So it'll be Lions ball coming out of their own defensive end. Again, Lions in white, moving from right to left. Whalers in Whaler blue, coming from left to right. Another shot on goal contained by Elizabeth Collette. She's definitely taken more shots on goal this second half. Whalers definitely have the advantage in terms of times of possession. Better shot on goal, pretty long distance away. Just a bit to the left and contained by number 7. He's definitely had some sure hands. Really wasn't much she could do about that point blank shot from Johnson. It was literally right on the doorstep. But happy to say we're going to have some highlight reel material to work with here. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, @Sports Connection. We're trying to get all those highlights out to celebrate all of our Whaler athletes. We are sharing those highlights out as well on Facebook. We got a new Facebook page. Look for us there. If it has new content, that's the Facebook page. If you see some old Facebook page with old content, that's not the one. And we're even on TikTok. Oof, I know, but we're there. That's where the kids are. That's where we're going. Check us out at Act Sports over there on TikTok. We're posting the same highlight reels and good fun content there. Lions threading down the Whaler side of the field, but double teamed and stripped was number 3, Marlo Jumper. Grace Schroeder now trying to get it downfield over to Johnson. Well, we get a handball. We get a handball call from the ref here. And that's going to be Lions ball. A little collision there near the timeline, but everyone's walking it off. Ref having a little chat with number 11, Sutton Lebrecht out there, but nothing too serious. And that's Collette and Crawford trading back and forth. Kicks it into a sea of blue. And number 14, Molly Bedell, manages to get it a little forward for the Whalers, but got an infraction call by the ref, and it's Whaler ball. Again, this is the inaugural, first ever in world history, live Whalers soccer on TV. It's your Whalers Girls Varsity Soccer Squad on NCTV and the NSC here from Novadear Field. You'd have trouble streaming a YouTube game out here, but you're watching one thanks to the miracle of live view. Our bonded cellular technology grabs every tower on the island and twists it into a big old digital knot and makes our HD broadcast possible. Want to thank Frank Schott, our head of production at NCTV, again for running us out some camera cards. That'll come in handy when it's time to edit the highlight reel later. Whalers on the offensive end now. But Lions managed to clear. Molly Bedell now gets it over to Schroeder. Schroeder across midfield. She gets it up to Lebrecht. Sutton Lebrecht, that is. There's two of them on the field after all. Lebrecht the elder, the senior. Dillon and Schroeder managed to have a little collision there, but no whistle. And There's Johnson, the striker, almost came up with it. Chelsea Gross, the Crow captain, labeled 23 today, usually number 2. And looks like that whistle results in a Lions ball. Number 18, Devin Crawford, gives it a boot. Number 7, Harper Lebrecht, quickly recovers the co-captain sophomore. And Chelsea Gross getting tumbled over, and she's going to be bringing it in the field. Less than 15 minutes left, at least according to the unofficial or whatever clock we got going on the sideline. Here in the second half, tie game, 1-1 between the Whalers and the Lions. Again, the more crew we have, the more we can do out here. So we got a camera class next Wednesday, September 24th, 3 p.m., right after school at NCTV next to Sophie T's. We'll have pizza, and more importantly, we'll have Sean Davis, our head videographer, giving you all the tips and tricks to capture your live Whalers action out here on the field. If we didn't have this fog cover, I'd say the shadows would be getting long. It's after 5 o'clock, so about the last full hour of sunlight out here at Nobody Fields. Goalkeeper Collette fielding it out there, but Lions can't recover cleanly. Wilso, however, makes it their ball. Lebrecht. Harper Lebrecht manages to recover. Tries to get over to Johnson. Looks like it's going to go just a bit too far past her, though. And out in the back line on the defensive end for the Lions, they will recover. And number 18, Devin Crawford, here to kick it out of the goal box. Whalers still dominating the time of possession here, trying to get something going to break this deadlock. Approximately 11 minutes left here in the second half, and it's 1-1. Out of bounds once again. Whaler ball into Chelsea Gross. Chelsea, kind of an oblique angle of a shot there, and just kind of off the front right corner. We're hearing Coach Palmer here telling Crawford, number 18, to get the ball to Regan. That's Regan Dillon, the other co-captain, number 19. Who I suspect Coach would like to have some more shots on goal production from. Ball comes screening my way, but thankfully is nice and low and hits the fence. The Whalers ball. That's 14 Molly Bedell getting it in. Whalers get it stripped. And, yep, here comes the aforementioned Reagan. Over number 17, Florence Carson, the junior, or rather sophomore. Whalers playing strong defense, however. Number 6, Gabby Nikolova is the last one to get a touch there, it looked like. Under 10 minutes to go, you're watching live Whalers Girls Soccer action here on NCTV and the NSC. I'm Charles Douglas, the NCTV station manager, filling in for Chris Morris. We'll be with you in our next ball game. We'll give you the details of that coming up here. Adriana Graham and Wesson Scott giving you all the visuals, our Whalers student crew. Looks like you got a stoppage out here. Whaler getting helped off the field. So we will keep that off camera, of course. Some respectful applause from the parents out there as Sutton Lebrecht gets a little help. I'm sorry? It is 1-1. 1-1 here in the second half, about 8.5 minutes left. As I mentioned, we got the Nantucket Shorts Festival coming up. Buy those tickets now at the Dreamland. That's Saturday, October 11th. We're going to have all Nantucket-made films, including at least one film from a current Nantucket high school student. So we're celebrating the Whalers on the big screen, in front of the camera, behind the camera, everywhere. Okay, it looks like number 14, actually. It's number 14, Molly Bedell. He's getting some help from the athletic trainer for the Lions. Always a good show of sportsmanship. And looks like we're about to get back underway. Clock on the side of the field, for whatever that's worth, shows 8:43. But as explained during the halftime, the refs will add time as they like, and they'll keep that information to themselves, basically. Whalers put it down on the offensive side of the field. Shot on goal, a good one by number 11, Sutton Lebrecht, but right into the arms of the goalie, Elizabeth Collette, for the Lions. Whalers managed to head it right in midfield and get it back on the offensive side. That dangerous shooter, Maya Johnson, however, is getting pretty near that one, and it's out of bounds. Under 8 minutes left on the unofficial clock. There's Maya Johnson bringing it in bounds. Well, the Whalers saved our first live broadcast date for an exciting game here. They got the only shot on goal during regular play. The one goal for the Lions was due to a penalty kick in the first half. That boot went pretty high up and over and out the back. And so Lions will be booting it out of the goal box. Weston Scott over there in camera 2 doing a great job tracking that shot. By the way, I should mention, if you want to do my job, well, almost any of you could do a better job than me. at least in this aspect of the production. I'm hitting buttons, running the replay machine, running the scoreboard. It's all a little too much, I got to tell you. So if you would like to be on the mic instead of me, I'd be happy. You'd be happy. Our viewers and listeners would probably be happy too. Heck, yeah. I'm sure the folks back at the office would probably be happier. So we got an intro to commentary class, intro to sports commentary, taught by the guy who knows what he's doing on the mic, namely Chris Morris, the voice of Whalers Athletics. And that's coming up on Thursday, October 9th at 3 p.m. right after school at NCTV, which is right next to Sophie T's Pizza. We would love to have you on the mic instead of me, and let me be the first to say that, and not the last. For more information on that, check us out at NantucketCommunityTelevision.org or give us a call. Under 6 minutes to go now. Doug Lebrecht, you can hear on my side, getting a little frustrated, urging his players to hustle. Our groups of players here have been on the field for nearly 75 minutes. Ooh. Nasty blow to the head there. We're going to get that off camera. Sutton Lebrecht's going to take a seat here. And coming in is number 12, Emery Bouchard, the senior defense player for the Whalers. I'm sure Sutton will be okay. Again, we're coming live from Nobody Field, where there's barely a signal, but just enough for us to be able to bring you this action. Sounds like the refs are calling a foul, at least from what I can overhear here. And kicked by the Lions. Saved by that Whalers goalie, Matty Myers, the junior co-captain. And Whalers quickly get it going down the other end of the field. There's Johnson, who had the one goal of the game for the Whalers. However, Lions managing to strip it away, trying to clear it. If we ever look obstructed, by the way, folks, that's because we are field side. There are no facilities to speak of in terms of getting elevation for our cameras. As yet, we're going to try to work with our friends at the Town Parks and Rec and so forth to maybe see what we can do in the future here. But in the meantime, hey, it's the first soccer game ever live in Nantucket. Enjoy. Approximately 3 minutes to go with whatever added time the refs deem fit to put on their clocks. Fellow was telling me at halftime I could ask him what the official time is if he's over on my side. Well, neither of them are within 20 yards of me right now, so I don't think that's going to happen. Again, this is Charles Douglas with Adriana Graham and Weston Scott, our student camera operators. Live on NCTV HD Channel 1072 and on NHC Sports Connection, your Nantucket Sports Connection on YouTube. There's Gray Schroeder, number 1, trying to get it towards the goal, but Lions come up with it. In the foreground there in that shot is the Lions coach, Lawrence Palmer. Got a whistle on that one. Handball is what I overheard, at least somebody in the sideline said. And looks like Chelsea Gross is going to have a kick here. The senior forward, co-captain for the Whalers. Oh, they stopped the clock here. Oh, that's right. They stopped the official clock. So that clock's going to read 0 on your screen, folks, and that's not going to mean much. We'll see how much unofficial time gets added on here by the officials, officially. And here's the shot. Well blocked by a line of Lions, that Whaler shot. Lions come up with it and are turning the tables rapidly. Only player left to stop it was number 13, Fiona Keltz. I do believe the first time I've called that name this game. The junior defense lady, number 13. And now it's Whalers ball. Gabby Nikolova belted into the Whalers offensive end. Lions hustling to recover. Number 10, Mila Smith, the 8th grader. Looks like she was unable to do so. So it'll be a corner kick for your Nantucket Whalers. It's number 3, Ella Boyd, the sophomore forward. And ball bounces towards the goalie, and number 7, Liz Collette, grabs it and tosses it forward. Lions ball now near the timeline, but Whalers there to stop. Great shooting here, by the way, by our student camera operators who have never filmed a varsity soccer game before in their lives, I should mention. Of course, we've never broadcast a varsity soccer game in our lives live here on the NSC and NCTV. So, okay, assistant coach, thank you so much. What was your name, sir? Boris Nikolov. Thank you, Boris. Well, Boris filled me in that's the end of the game. What do you know? Well, our Nantucket Whalers were definitely underdogs coming into this and managed to pull off the 1-1 tie against the visiting Lions. So, heck of a job to our Whaler gals for managing to score that highlight reel goal in the second half by number 9, the senior forward, Maya Johnson. So great job to Maya to tie this game. Your Whalers now will be 1-3-2 on the season. St. John Paul now 2-2-2. So that's Whalers with 1 victory, 3 defeats, and 2 ties on the season. And St. John Paul Lions, thanks to them for coming over and playing our Nantucket Whalers. They are 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties on this season. I guess that's all she wrote from here at Nobodere Field, the first time we filmed anything here as well. This is NCTV station manager Charles Douglas for Adriana Graham and Weston Scott. Join them on camera. Learn how to run our cameras next Wednesday, September 24th, 3 p.m. at NCTV. And join us this coming Saturday. We'll be back with you with our live Whalers football, trying to go 3-0 for the first time in almost a decade. They'll be playing the Blackstone Valley Beavers. That's this Saturday. We'll be going live at 1:30 at Vito Capicio Stadium. The next time we're coming to you for Whalers Girls Soccer action will be Tuesday, September 30th, where we'll be welcoming the Clippers from visiting Falmouth. Say that 10 times fast. Sorry, folks. I'm from California. But Falmouth is what they say out here, and that'll be right about the same time, live at 3:15 here at Nobodere Field. Thanks to our refs. Thanks to our sponsors. Thank you. If you could go ahead and use this awesome code, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, this code right here. Take a picture, visit SnapRaise, and allow us to continue this expansion of our Sports Connection coverage. Snap raise is how we're going to be able to add this soccer season and other seasons if we can raise enough. So check it out or click the link at AC Sports Connection on Instagram. Again, next soccer game might be the last, maybe not. Depends to you. We got Snap Raise running pretty much through that date at the end of September. That's going to be Tuesday, September 30th, right here on NCTV and the NSC. For Adriana Graham, Weston Scott, this is Charles Douglas saying thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back at you this Saturday for Whalers football. You've been watching Whalers Girls Soccer for the first time live on NCTV. Good night, Whaler Nation. We tied 1-1.